Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where on today's episode we will examine two new stills from the film and relate them to the best plot leaks we have, namely the Jedi Paxis ones, and apply the details to these photos to give context to the weirdest plot point that's gonna be in The Rise of Skywalker. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Welcome back to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you're just finding me for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video and any other video from the channel that you check out, and be sure to hit that notification bell. Not once, but twice, as this is the way that you will ensure you never miss a new video the second it goes live. Alright, with that being said, we're going to throw out a spoiler warning for The Rise of Skywalker, as there will be spoilers from The Rise of Skywalker in this video, so consider this your spoiler warning. With that being said, we're going to talk about two new photos from the film, one of them from Entertainment Weekly and one of them from Empire. So let's take a look at this first one here from Entertainment Weekly, where we have the gang, Chewie, Finn, Rey, and Poe, clearly in a predicament here, as you see Rey with her lightsaber ignited and all of the concerned look on the gang's faces. And as you may have guessed, if you've already been familiar with the plot leaks, specifically the Jedi Paxis plot leaks, you will know that this comes from the scene on Pisana with the sandworm when the gang is trying to avoid the First Order. So as you can see, this is going to be lining up very nicely with the second photo we have that comes from Empire. And if you take a look at this other photo here, we see, again, looks like very similar to the last photo where we have Finn pointing his blaster, Poe with a flashlight, 3PO and Rey all in the same location, as you can tell based on the background, and Rey still with the lightsaber ignited, showing that the gang is indeed in trouble. And now what I'd like to do is read that specific part of the Jedi Paxis plot leaks that come from this particular scene. Now to recap, this scene is going to be taking place in the first act of the film. As I said in my video from yesterday, all of the promotional things, stills, trailers, teasers that we've seen thus far have mainly been from the first act of the film, all of this taking place on Pisana. So picking up right when the gang has found the Sith dagger from the Jedi Paxis plot leak, quote, "The dagger has writing on it in a language that nobody can identify. It's then handed over to 3PO, who identifies the writing as a Sith language, but he reveals that he is unable to translate the writing due to restrictions in his programming. According to updated information, C-3PO can read it, he knows what it says, and tells the Resistance crew that it reveals the location to a wayfinder, but his programming forbids him from providing a literal translation from the text. Chewbacca takes possession of the dagger, and the group's attention shifts to finding a way out of the caves. During their escape attempt, the team runs into a giant, very aggressive sandworm, who presumably created the tunnels. A battle with the sandworm ensues, and our heroes end up backed into a corner, preparing to meet their fate when Rey notices a detail. The worm is injured. In a display of previously unknown power, Rey is able to heal the worm's injuries, satiating the worm and providing the heroes the chance they needed to escape. So as you can see, both of these images with blasters pointed, lightsabers manned, that these promotional stills come from the point before Rey realizes that the worm has an injury that she has not yet healed. So when she does heal this, presumably they will be able to escape easily. As you can see, this part of the Jedi Paxis plot leaks lines up very nicely with the images we have, as not in the first one that we talked about, but in the second one you can definitely see 3PO's present. We have Chewbacca present in the first image, so this really gives more credibility to the Jedi Paxis plot leaks overall, specifically into this scene. So the more footage that we've seen, the more images that come out, the more we can really start to confirm Act 1 alone. Maybe not so much 2 and 3 yet, as they're mainly going to keep most of that footage under wraps, more until the movie comes out, due to the fact that they don't want to leak the whole plot and risk a Batman v Superman type of situation. But this really does give credence to the idea that these plot leaks are very legitimate sources at this point. So to be clear, the dagger that they have has restrictions in C-3PO's programming. He's able to read it, but he can't provide a literal translation of the text. Why that is, I'm not going to be sure. I hope that at some point they explain that, because that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense given the fact that Anakin designed 3PO and made 3PO. I would wonder why that this is the case. Chewbacca takes possession of the dagger and the group's attention shifts to finding a way out of the caves. That line, you can also tell that both of these images have the exact same background, so you can really tell that they are definitely in caves. You can see the grooves on the caves, definitely looks like it fits that sandworm theory, considering that if you look behind, specifically in the Empire picture, you can see that it looks like it's very circular in the sense that it really does correlate with a sandworm in the shape that we would expect this sandworm to look like. Now, why is this scene even in the film? This definitely is a weird plot point. And my speculation, pure conjecture on my part, is the fact that it's probably supposed to be sort of a tip of the cap, perhaps, to the Return of the Jedi scene where Luke is at Jabba's palace and ends up having to fight the Rancor. And since J.J. Abrams really does like to do this type of thing as he had done in The Force Awakens, giving it very A New Hope feel in terms of the way he decided to shoot and organize his film in terms of the structure and the cinematography, it would only make sense to have something kind of similar to that to kind of tip to the cap and kind of really keeping it in connection to feel very much like a Star Wars movie, as that is something JJ really likes to do. So pure conjecture on my part, what do you guys think about that portion of the theory? Anyway, that wraps things up for me here in this video. Thank you guys for watching, may God bless you, and the Force be with you.
If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.